Good, happy Sunday morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Sunday morning edition of Politics with Riley King. Let's begin. First up, Yang shares tales of upbringing as son of immigrants. In Candidate Cafe, Yang says he's New England product. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Nature isn't the only force that can leave its mark, especially when you have a tractor built to help make your property your own.
Pulling up a chair at the Airport Diner in Manchester, Andrew Yang opened up to New Hampshire voters, sharing stories of his upbringing as the son of immigrants.
My father grew up on a peanut farm in Asia with no floor. And when I visited his childhood home, I was like, no way. Looking around this farming village, and I was like, how the heck did you go from here to... So then my father ended up getting his PhD in physics from Berkeley, where he met my mom.
Yang's parents worked hard to send him to one of the best schools in the country, Phillips Exeter Academy.
So I spent a lot of time here in New Hampshire. I came of age here. I went to college at Brown, which is not that far away. I grew up in upstate New York, so I consider myself a New England product.
Yang says while he didn't exactly enjoy his prep school experience, one escape was music and attending concerts.
U2, The Cure, Depeche Mode. I went to the first 3 Lollapaloozas, so I saw all of that stuff.
The entrepreneur turned presidential candidate is a married father of 2 sons. One lives with autism.
I have a feeling, and we saw this a little bit with that teen who's, the climate change activist, but I feel like he just sees the world in a different way. And one of the messages I have in the campaign is that being atypical is the new normal.
Even though Yang is busy campaigning across the country, he vacationed this summer on the seacoast, bringing his family to Hampton Beach.
And then my kids loved those boardwalk arcades where they would just go in there. They'd spend limitless hours, the tokens, and then getting the ticket.
Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Sununu does not support Trump impeachment. Spokesperson criticized Washington circus. New Hampshire governor's view differs from New England Republican counterpartners, Scott Baker. Governor Chris Sununu does not support the impeachment of President Trump. A spokesperson for the Republican chief executive told WMUR on Friday. State Democratic Party estimates it netted $100K from state convention. Monthly finance report to FEC shows a big difference between NHDP and GOP. The state Democratic Party estimate it raised after expense about $100,000 in connection with its state convention on September 7th. The event at SNHU Arena attracted 19 presidential candidates, and according to the party, about 9,000 tickets were sold to delegates and guests. That is very cool. Rep. Latha Manjapud, New Hampshire Indian American leader, endorses Booker for president. Nashua lawmaker serving 4th term says New Jersey Senator message resonates with my core values. The Rahus, long-time permanent New Hampshire Democratic activist, endorses Buttigieg. John Rahus was the Democrat U.S. Senate nominee in 1992 and the founder of the National Campaign Finance Reform Group. Mary Rahus co-chaired former President Barack Obama's campaign in New Hampshire in 2008 and has been a leader on women's issues. The longtime and well-known Democratic activist couple on Thursday night endorsed Mayor Pete Buttigieg for president in 2020. How Ukraine is viewing Trump impeachment inquiry. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Another big question, how is this all being seen by the new Ukrainian government as their president pushed for a meeting in support from President Trump? Our chief national affairs correspondent Tom Yamas is in the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, with new reporting. And Tom, the new Ukrainian president's team understood that there was a precondition to any phone call with President Trump.
George, good morning from Kiev. A former advisor to President Zelensky tells ABC News after the Ukrainian election in April, his team was eager to set up a meeting or a call with President Trump. But they said they quickly understood there had to be some ground rules, and those ground rules involved having to discuss the Bidens. Now, we know from the call summary released yesterday, President Zelensky tells President Trump his office is in contact with Rudy Giuliani. Now, the former advisor, who is a Trump critic, told us yesterday, and this is a direct quote, it was a clear fact that Trump wants to meet only if the Bidens will be included. Now, we know they eventually did discuss that on the call in July. Today, this former advisor is clarifying his comments after his quote gained lots of attention all over the world. He's now telling us this was not inside information, but rather common knowledge. So why would Ukraine's new president want to help President Trump, or at least appear to want to help them? First, President Zelensky is new to politics. He's a comedic actor who went directly from playing a president on a popular TV show right here in Ukraine to becoming the real president of the country. Second, he needs the U.S.'s help. Hundreds of millions in aid, military support, and a partnership on the global stage, George.
And Tom, you were also in Kiev this summer, and you spoke to the former prosecutors at the center of this whole controversy.
Yeah, George, that's right. This is the prosecutor who Joe Biden demanded to be fired when he was vice president, Viktor Shokin, who eventually resigned and was widely condemned for not investigating corruption. He was overseeing the prosecutor's office, which did have criminal inquiries into a company Hunter Biden joined the board of after his father got involved in Ukraine, but was found of no wrongdoing on the Biden's part. Now, this former prosecutor, Shokin, tells me he's already spoken to Rudy Giuliani. And when I pressed him and I asked him, why would you want to meddle in U.S. elections? He says this is not meddling. He was simply speaking with Rudy Giuliani, and he is now a private citizen. George?
Tom Yamas, thanks.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this Sunday morning edition of Politics with Riley King. I hope you all enjoyed this Sunday and this week's edition of Politics with Riley King. I'll see you back here next Sunday for another edition of Politics with Riley King. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everyone, and have a great week ahead of you. Goodbye.